Alright boys, big 5-2 win for the Vancouver Canucks, and my captain, Bo Horvat scores his first career NHL hat-trick in his 6th NHL season. I actually didn't realize that until the announcer said that. It's kind of hard to believe that this is Bo Horvat's first career hat-trick, but great game from Bo. The Canucks are now 3-1 on this road trip, and I think they're now 7. They've won 7 out of their past 8 games. So, kind of a rough, slow start, but the Canucks are now rolling. And that also includes a win against the St. Louis Blues, the former Stanley Cup winning team. So for all you guys, all the haters out there who said who are saying that the Canucks only won or are only winning because they're facing weaker teams, do keep in mind that the St. Louis Blues were a part of this crop. Pettersson is now in the lead on the team scoring. He has 10 points in his first 9 games. JT Miller's point per game with 9 points in the first 9 games. Hughes now has 6 points with two more assists tonight. He now has 6 points in his first 9 games, and he is second in rookie defensive scoring, only behind his arch nemesis Cale Makar. Pretty interesting game though, guys. The Canucks, the past couple seasons, they've been kind of like they start off hot team, and then as the game goes on, they trail off. However, this season has been completely different. This is yet another comeback win, and the Canucks are really turning into a clutch third period team. Now, in my opinion, I attribute that all to all the added depth in our roster, all the secondary scoring. It really helps, it makes a big difference, and it's obviously paying huge dividends this season already. Especially when you consider that Elias Pettersson and Brock Best are the top goal scorers on the team, only have a combined 4 goals, 2 goals each in the first 9 games. So if you're still winning and our elite players aren't scoring, obviously something's going right, and depth has been fantastic. And I can't say enough about our bottom 6. Tyler Mott, Tim Schaller, even Beagle, even Sutter, they're all playing so well. I can't complain. It's been a bit concerning though about Michael Furlan. We're only 9 games in, so I'm not going to get too worried so far. He doesn't look very confident out there. And hopefully, as the games go on, he gets more confidence back. He plays more minutes. It really feels like that's part of the issue here. He's not getting any special team time. He sometimes is getting second line power play unit time. But in the past couple of games, especially, the kind of stuff kind of changed how they are rolling out the power play. Once again, Quinn Hughes is on the first line power play. You love to see it. And tonight, he has 2 power play points, or at least 1 power play point. So you can't go wrong with that. And hopefully, Michael Furlan finds his game, because Tim Schaller, Tyler Mott, they're playing great. The Canucks start off pretty slow. Anthony Mantha scores their first goal in the game. And guys, I've been, obviously I haven't watched the Red Wings very closely, but I've been watching all their games so far on their Western road trip that they just finished. And Mantha is honestly just a beast. So if you're a Detroit Red Wings fan out there, be very happy. Mantha will arguably be one of the best power forward goal scorers in the whole NHL. His size, his ability to hold the puck is just crazy. Larkin has developed into such an elite player. And Tyler Bertuzzi has turned into that ideal high-energy player who can also put up some goals. So the Detroit Red Wings definitely have a great first line, but that's definitely the issue, is that it really trails off after that, and their depth really isn't there. But, they are a rebuilding team, so it makes sense. And yet another theme for the Vancouver Canucks is Jacob Markstrom. Jacob Markstrom, guys, he has been playing so well. He has been absolutely dominating, and it's not like the shots going against him are just floaters on net, and the Canucks have just been playing amazing defensively. That's not even the story whatsoever. Markstrom has just been robbing goals. He's been stealing games for the Canucks. This game, it could have easily been 4-2 in the third period. Markstrom has been playing out of his mind. Last season for Markstrom was a huge year in terms of his development. He played really well last year. He was the MVP of the team, and it was really important that he started this season off strong, and he looks far better than what he looked like last year. And honestly, and this may be a bit optimistic, a bit enthusiastic, but I think Jacob Markstrom, if he keeps playing like this, he's really earning his role in terms of the top goaltenders in the whole NHL. He's been playing out of his mind. Jacob Markstrom hasn't had one single bad game yet this year. Even when he loses, he still plays fantastic, and it's usually the Canucks' fault. So overall, I'm so happy to see that Markstrom is really developing into that #1 starting goaltender, and arguably a top 10 goaltender, if not top 5, as of right now, goaltender in the whole NHL. It's great to see. And honestly, the Canucks haven't had this strong goaltender situation since Luongo was in his prime. Again, that may be a bit optimistic, but Markstrom's been playing great, and even Thatcher Demko, he's been playing fantastic. The Canucks goaltending situation has shown up, and looks great, and great to see if you're a Canucks fan. You know, it's like all the pieces are just coming together. The defense is getting better, our depth is getting better, our scoring is getting better, and the final piece, our goaltending is fantastic. Second period was a bit better than the first, maybe. Again, I was not really impressed whatsoever. Kind of like even the first game against Detroit. The start of the game, I just wasn't impressed. The Canucks just weren't looking good. The power play wasn't doing too well. You know, we weren't making great plays, and I definitely just was not impressed. I actually missed part of the first period because I was actually looking at a house, not to buy but to rent. We're planning on potentially moving so we can have a yard for our puppy, but I missed part of the first period. But again, I just wasn't too impressed. The Canucks have not been starting off too hot. Besides, I guess, against the New York Rangers, we started off really hot, but especially against Detroit, even last game, same situation. However, again, somehow our depth, somehow I guess our more veteran status here, the Canucks are pulling together in the third period, and we're winning games, and that's really all that matters. We are now 9 games into the season, which is still, of course, super early, but, you know, I haven't seen those elite flashes out of Pettersson and Boeser. And it's kind of interesting because Pettersson obviously now has 10 points in his first 9 games, which isn't bad. That's great. Those are great numbers. Boeser now has 7 points in his first 9 games. Again, that's not too bad. Definitely not terrible. And the interesting thing is Pettersson and Boeser, they haven't been playing to their normal standard. Their goal scoring, like elite goal scoring ability standard. And it's a bit concerning, but at the same time, we're winning games. So hopefully, you know, as the games go on, Pettersson and Boeser start finding the back of the net a bit more consistently. But what I will say, though, is Pettersson's defensive game has been fantastic. Like, I'm not sure if you guys saw that diving play at the end of the third period, but Pettersson skated back, he broke up the play, and it ended up being a Canucks goal. So Pettersson's defensive play has been fantastic. His offensive game is starting to come back. Again, 8 assists, 2 goals out of Pettersson. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you know, I'm missing those Pettersson-Boeser goal scoring opportunities. Nothing gets me more pumped up than seeing a Pettersson 1T. But again, perhaps it could just be other teams, you know, taking their time and scouting Pettersson and Boeser's shots, which I mean could be a part of it, but again, hopefully it comes back. And definitely one of the more interesting topics to come out of this road trip is, what do we do with Adam Gaudette? Because, you know, last season, Tim Schaller, he played alright. Tyler Mott played decently for a bottom 6 forward, but they definitely weren't engraving their name within our roster. But this road trip specifically, I feel like the Beagle, Sutter, but this road trip specifically, I feel like the Beagle, you know, Mott, Schaller, they've been playing so well. And because of that, it's kind of forced Travis Green to be like, there's just no spot in the lineup for Adam Gaudette. It's just kind of hard to say. What do you guys think about that? Because, you know, what can you do when Mott and Schaller are playing so well? You can't just remove them out. And I guess I would say probably the weakest piece we could take out for Adam Gaudette so far this season has just been Michael Ferland. And, you know, I just feel like Travis Green and Jim Benning, they don't really want that. They want to see if Ferland gets heat back up and potentially be that 20-goal guy once again. So I guess we'll see about that. And it's not even just Adam Gaudette. What about Sven Baertschi? What about Roussel? Because Roussel will eventually come back, and Roussel is definitely someone I want to see in our lineup. And Louis Eriksson, what are we going to do with Louis Eriksson? All our players are playing so much better. Our depth has been so much better. We've seen so much internal growth from last season to this season. So it's going to be really interesting to see, you know, what we do with our roster. It's almost as if a trade needs to be made. Like, unless we are willing to send down Gaudette, we're willing to send down Louis Eriksson, because our guys are just playing too well right now. And the interesting thing, again, is Sven Baertschi's playing out of his mind in Utica. He has 9 points in his first 4 games in the AHL this season. And he's definitely, you know, he's definitely proving to Canucks management that he wants another opportunity. But when the Canucks are winning, and our bottom 6 guys are playing out of their mind, it's definitely a bit hard to take, Mott or Schaller out of the lineup when, they don't deserve it. As in, they don't deserve to be taken out. But anyways, boys, what do you guys think about this game? Huge 5-2 win for the Canucks. Bo Horvat with his first career hat-trick. He now has 5 goals in his first 9 games. He came off to a slow start, but he's definitely come back to form here. Pettersson with 10 points. Quinn Hughes with 2 points. Great game. Definitely a much, much better third period. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys later.